Jai Jinendra, I Rakhi Jain on behalf of Ladies Wing and Youth Wing of Faridabad chapter welcome you all and our esteemed chief guest speaker Mr. Hitesh Chachar to today's webinar on wills and legacy rights. Now I would like to call our dynamic chairperson Mrs. Anju Jain to open the session by welcoming everyone.
Good evening and Jai Janandar everyone. I welcome you
Jai
to
Janandar.
another important webinar hosted by Jito Chapter Faridabad under the guidance and our mentor Shantilal Ji Jain. Today we have with us our chairman Shri Shantilal Ji Jain, Chief Secretary Mr. PC Jain, North Zone Chief Secretary who's always been our guiding star Mr. Praveen Rankaji, and of course all the youth wing members as well as ladies wing members. I welcome all the attendees who are attending this session, which is important for all of us. The unpredictability of life has never been so glaring as it is today. One of the biggest realizations that one has learned from past 1 year during the COVID is that we cannot live forever and we do not know when the forever will end. Any day, any hour, it can be any minute. The best thing that we can do for our loved one is to make the life of our survivor as easy and comfortable as possible during this lifetime. The best way to do is to write a will. There's an old saying, where there's a will, there's a way. In the absence of properly executed will, the way may be too complicated. Ask the Birla clan, the Ranbaxy, the Ambanis, and even your neighborhood uncle. They'll all agree that the road to inheritance globally is usually paved with no will or ill will stories. Still, in India at least, will planning is hardly as seen as part of our financial management. Remember, if a state is well allocated in the will, then the kind of fortune, otherwise, it is a family disaster. Today we have with us Mr. Hitesh Satcher, who is a practicing advocate for last 15 years in various courts of Delhi as well as Supreme Court. He's going to talk to us and tell us all we need to know about writing the will and the law of succession and inheritance. Thank you again. With so much ado, we welcome Mr. Hitesh Satcher to share his experience and views on the same. Thank you, Rakhi. Over to you.
Now I request a very determined and generous chairperson of Faridabad chapter, Shri Shanti Lalji, to come up and speak a few words. Shri Shanti Lalji.
आप सबको मेरा सादर जय जिनेंद्र। अभी अंजू जी ने सब्जेक्ट के बारे में बताया। आज के हालात में ये चीज जरूरी है, लेकिन मैं समझता हूं कि अगर ये हालात ना भी हों तो भी किसी भी पर्सन के लिए, मैन और विमेन, इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू मेक ए विल, एंड हाउ टू मेक द विल, इट इज एन आर्ट। और चूंकि आजकल बेटे बेटी इक्वली पार्टनर, इक्वली उसके वारिस होते हैं, तो इसलिए अगर बड़े लोग अपनी विल को क्लैरिटी के साथ देके जाएं तो जो पोजेशंस जिन्होंने लेने हैं उनके लिए बहुत आसानी रहती है। एंड देयर इज वेरी नाइसली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड द wealth and the properties and other things. तो आज का जो सब्जेक्ट है मेरे हिसाब से बहुत अच्छा है, और आज के माहौल के हिसाब से it is very important for all of us to understand this will and legacy rights. तो मैं एक बार फिर लेडीज विंग को इसके लिए और अंजू जी को और नुपुर जी को बहुत बहुत मुबारकबाद देता हूँ कि उन्होंने ऐसा सब्जेक्ट चुना और एक इतने अच्छे एडवोकेट हितेश सच्चर जी को बुलाया है। तो I welcome everybody on this webinar. Thank you.
Now I would like to call a very passionate and supportive Chief Secretary of North Zone, Shri Praveen Ranka ji.
जय जिनेंद्र, आज के इस वेबिनार में आप सभी का स्वागत है। मैं देख रहा हूं कि जिस तरीके से फरीदाबाद चैप्टर की लेडीज विंग प्रोग्राम्स कर रही है, ये एक बहुत अच्छी शुरुआत है और वो बहुत अच्छी है और आगे भी इसी तरीके से करते रहे। ये टॉपिक जो है काफी हम सभी के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है और विल किस तरीके से लिखना चाहिए और कैसे सारी प्रेजेंटेशन करनी चाहिए। अंजू जी खुद जो चेयरपर्सन है फरीदाबाद चैप्टर की एडवोकेट है और काफी गाइडिंग प्रिंसिपल है, सभी को समझाती भी है, बताती भी है। उन्होंने ये इवेंट प्लान करी है तो मैं बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूँ। और हितेश जी को सुनने की मैं चाहूंगा कि ध्यान से सभी उसको सुने और उसको फॉलो करें। थैंक यू रोज।
संगीता जी का क्या पूछना है?
अब मैं अपेक्स से जुड़े हुए श्री अजय बोरा जी जो कि चेयरमैन है JPF के, उनको बुलाऊंगी और कहूंगी उनसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी वो कुछ शब्द कहें। अजय बोरा जी
मेरे ख्याल में भी जुड़े नहीं हो, आप
अभी
कंटिन्यू
नहीं
करें।
जुड़े।
जय जिनेंद्र,
फिर
सभी को मेरा वेलकम। As addressed by our chairperson, we all are aware of how uncertain times are, and to help us deal with them better legally, our team has organized this very helpful session. Mr. Hitesh Satchar is a practicing advocate in Delhi from the last 15 years. He is a partner at a law firm and majorly caters to corporate insolvency, banking, wealth planning, and civil matters at various tribunals, high courts, and the Supreme Court. He works with various NGOs pro bono and has filed multiple public interest litigation. He is also on the panel of various banks and is the legal advisor to Lloyd Law College. I would now like to invite Mr. Hitesh Satchar to begin the session.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Prachi Jain, for such a warm welcome. A very good evening and namaskar to one and all present here. I am glad and honored to be part of this event organized by JITO Faridabad chapter. I especially thank Shri Shantilal Jain ji, Chairperson, Faridabad chapter. I have heard he has worked very hard to bring this chapter to where it is today. The topic taken for the today's discussion and interaction, will and legacy right. Just few days back, during this lockdown, I received a call from Anju ji. She asked me, "What are you doing today?" I said, "Nothing much." She again asked me, "You are sounding engrossed in something." I said, "Yes, I am just going through a will forwarded by my client, a will left by his father, who passed away April this year due to COVID. And now as his mother is also suffering, so he's a bit confused and anxious. What is the next step? As his father has left a will, bequeathing everything to his mother. And now his mother is also not keeping well. What a coincidence. Anju ji said, this topic will is in my mind from the last couple of days. and I want to have an interactive session on this at Jito platform. So why don't you join us for this interactive session and share some of your experiences and tips on the topic will. I said, I can't say no to you. So this is how we are here today with the topic will and legacy rights. The term will, as we know, the literal meaning of the word will is expressing the future tense. It is a legal document by which a person expresses his wishes as to how his property is to be distributed at his death. The property here includes both movable and immovable. आपकी चल और अचल संपत्ति का वितरण आपकी डेथ के बाद कैसे हो, आपकी इच्छा अनुसार. This is what this document will tells us. The importance and impact of this document can be seen in a famous case where a will left by Mrs. Priyamavada Birla. By that will, she has given the estate of Birla not to the Birla family, but to her chartered accountant, Mr. R.S. Lodha. So, this is how this document is important. And at the same time, the uniqueness of this document is that there is only one party to this document, and the party who is executing this document called testator, who is writing the will. Though it is a legal document, binding document, but beneficiaries are not the party. So the uniqueness of this document comes with this, as a person can change his will as many times he wants to. And he will keep on enjoying his property, his assets, all throughout his life with all the rights, and this document will come into play only after his death. So, as per the legal definition, it is a declaration of man's intention, which he wills to be performed after his death. And he makes a deposition of his property to take place after his death. I request Ms. Prachi Jain to share the slides also for the convenience of everyone.
Yes, sir.
Now, who can make will? Every person who is competent to contract may make a will. But the caution here is, he must be a major, of sound mind, and willing to write a will. So will cannot be by a minor, insolvent, or a person disqualified under law. So the question here comes whether a deaf and dumb can also make a will. The court says yes. A deaf and dumb person, by showing consent through writing or gestures in sign language, can also execute a will. Even nothing prevents a prisoner in India from drawing a will. So any person who is major and of sound mind can write a will. Now, if we see the legal definitions under the Indian Succession Act 1925, as per the Indian Succession Act 1925, the persons who can make a will and are governed by the Indian Succession Act are Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh, and Jain. So the four persons, Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh, and Jain, they can make a will as per the provisions of Indian Succession Act 1925. The Mohammedans, the Muslims, are not governed by the Indian Succession Act 1925, and as they can dispose their property according to Muslim law. So now the most important question which comes is why one should make a will. The moment this term will, वसीयत, जैसे ही हमारे सामने आता है, हमारा इंस्टेंट रिएक्शन क्या होता है? मुझे इसकी क्या जरूरत है? Is that I am going to die so soon? मेरे परिवार में तो सब कुछ ठीक चल रहा है. And also, this is a job of ultra rich people. Will likhna, wasiyat likhna is not our job. There is also a misconception that all the estate automatically pass to the spouse. So what is the use? What is the need of writing a will? But this is not the case. People throughout their life work hard to create assets for their loved ones. But where they lack is to plan how these assets will pass to the next generation. Now, what will happen to these assets on an unexpected demise? During this pandemic period, this is the concern of most of the people. So how to plan your estate? How to write a will? Now, what will happen if a person doesn't execute a will? Now, take a situation, a Hindu male died intestate, that is without leaving a will. In that case, he will be now governed by Hindu Succession Act 1956. As there is no will by a Hindu male, so now the succession rights will be governed by the Hindu Succession Act 1956. Now, as per that act, the first class of legal hire for a Hindu male are son, daughter, widow, mother, and naturally the son's wife, son, daughters, daughters, and so on. But what I want to point out here is that there is no mention of father of the deceased in the first class of legal hire. So majorly there are four: son, daughter, widow, and mother. The father comes in the second class. If there is no one from this first class, then it devolves upon the father. Now take a case of a Hindu female dying intestate without leaving a will. In that case, the very first class is son, daughter, husband. That's it. If there is no son, daughter, husband, then the second class is the legal hire of the husband. And if there is no legal hires of the husband, please see that under the third class for a Hindu female comes is mother and father of that female. The mother and father take jointly, equally that property. And now, as per the Hindu Succession Act, if a Hindu female has inherited the property from his father or mother, then in that situation, it will devolve upon her son and daughter. And in the absence of son and daughter, upon the legal hires of her father. So please see and understand that in that situation, there is no husband mentioned for a Hindu female dying intestate, inheriting the property from father or mother. So to avoid all these complexities of this Hindu Succession Act, it is always advisable that one should make a will so that it is easier for one's family or friends to sort the properties of a person at his death in a smoother manner. Without a will, everything will be shared in a standard way as defined by the law. And also, this will reduce the amount of inheritance tax also. And when this will is especially important if a person have a children or other family members who are dependent on him. And also, if a person wants to bequeath something out of his family for charity or donation. There is also one more misconception, and is that nomination. हमने बहुत बार देखा होगा, सुना होगा, बैंक जाते हैं वहां भी लिखा होता है नॉमिनेशन फैसिलिटी अवेलेबल है. The nomination facility given by the bank does not entitle that nominee to take over the properties of that deceased. It is just for the facilitation. Please remember that nominee does not hold a better title than those legal hires. He is just a custodian. It is just an act for easing out between the bank and the nominee as per the Banking Regulation Act and the RBI circular. So all these things are important to be kept in mind, that why one should make a will. Now coming to that, what properties can be included in wills? A person can make will only about a property which belongs to him, of which he is the owner. Like this mobile, this mobile is in my possession. Having this mobile in my possession does not entitle me to will it out. To will this mobile to someone in my will, first I have to own this mobile as an owner. The Indian laws even do not recognize spousal rights on property. So a husband has no right to make a will about the property of his wife and vice versa. Normally, the husband and wife jointly owns the property. And husband pays entirely for that property. But still that husband cannot make a will about the share of his wife in the joint owned property. They both are jointly owning the property for a 50-50 share. Each one of them can will that only their 50% share, not the other 50% which belongs to the wife or the husband. So the basic funda for that will is, you can make a will only about a property that belongs to you. Now coming to practices in making will. There is no particular format of a will. However, there are few basic things which should be kept in mind at the time of writing a will. First is, keep your will as simple as possible. And whatever you want to state in that will, be very clear about it. As in the beginning, Shantilal Jain ji has said that whatever you write in a will, it should be very clear. Yes, this is the main point, clarity. As simple as that, and with a very clarity. It is always advisable that one should give one asset only to one person, so that it may not complicate the distribution. Describe more specifically some assets which don't often change, such as the real estate, the immovable properties. But those assets which often gets changed, like shares or the mutual funds, then don't describe those specifically. And the another important thing is, certain persons are required to implement your will after your death. As the will comes into picture only after one's death, so obviously the person who is writing a will not be there for that implementation. So the persons who come into picture for the implementation of that will are executors, guardian, witnesses. It is always advisable that choose those people, preferably younger than you, as their work starts after your death. And after making a will, if there is any addition to the family or change in the executor, guardian, or some witness has expired, it is always advisable that one should change a will. As you can change your will as many times as you want to. There is no restriction under the law. The only thing is that it should be validly written. And then the will should be signed by the testator, the one who is writing the will, executing the will, in the presence of at least 2 witnesses. Up till here, the law has not much of there is no much requirement under the law. It is simple, it should be simple, there is no particular format, clarity, what you want to put it, how you want to put it, to whom you want to give. But the law says it should be in the presence of at least 2 witnesses who attest that will. So it is also very advisable and always advisable that the name, address, some ID details of that person and the contact number should be clearly indicated in the will. As again, the will comes into play after the death. So you know that this is the witness, but you will not be there to call that witness. It is the executor or the beneficiaries who has to call that witness to prove that will. So the witnesses should be clearly spelled out, their name and address. One more legal issue with respect to the witness. As per the Indian Succession Act, Section 67, it says that witness should not be the beneficiary of the will. A witness should also not be an executor of the will. Keep both the things separate, the executor and the witness and the beneficiaries, so that it may not raises any doubt that this will has been executed under some influence, under the coercion. The law says the attesting witness as well as his wife or her husband must not be a beneficiary under the will. But let's take an example that suppose you have made the attesting witness who is beneficiary. What would happen? The law says it will not be invalid for the entire this thing. It will be invalid only for the properties which has been bequeathed to those attesting witness or this wife or husband. The validity of other bequests made under that will not be affected. Now suppose under the first clause you are writing one is writing a will, and under the first clause a person mentions that so and so property is given to Mr. A, my son, Mr. A. after a few paras under the second clause, he bequeathed the very same property. He mentioned the very same property, and he says, I bequeath this so and so property to my son named B. Now, law says if this is the case, that same property in the first clause is going to son A and in the second clause going to son B. The court says it is the second clause who is taking the property in the second clause will be valid. You have made a mistake, but it is the person who is taking under the second clause. And one more important thing is, as per section 69 of Indian Succession Act, that will gets revoked by testator's marriage. Suppose you have written a will before your marriage. That will gets revoked after your marriage, and it is also very much advisable that you should always make a fresh will, because law does not recognize that. Now coming to the basic ingredients of a will. What are the basic ingredients of a will which one should take care of? The person who is executing a will, that is the testator. Under the law is called testator or testatrix if she is a female. The testator details should be very, very clear. The name, age, address of the person who is making a will. Then the legal declaration. As I have said, the beneficiaries are never the parties to the will. So the declaration should be legal, very much clear. A document by which a living person declares his desires or intention. As it is not an agreement, not a contract, not a settlement. So the declaration should be clear and must be legal. I declare that. Then comes the intention of the testator. The courts in India takes the intention of the testator, the one who is executing the will, very, very seriously. As a will is a declaration of intention of the person making the will. It's related to the future, and it should be very much different from narration of all the facts as at present. There is no need that mera so and so putra, so and so daughter is not taking care of me, I does not want to be. Don't get into that. It is your intention which is taken care of by the courts. So keep the will as simple as possible, as clear as possible. As Anjuji remembers, last year, she has forwarded me a will. And in that will is by a lady. And in that will, that lady states that her deceased husband always desired before the death that the property should devolve like this. And me and Anjuji had a long discussion over it. And then some case laws also I've searched and exchanged with her. That this statement is not a will. Why? because it is not carrying the intention of the testator, that lady. It is not carrying the intention of that lady. It is the intention of the deceased husband. So, intention of a testator should be very clear. And the next is with respect to his property. As I said earlier, a will can be only be made with respect to one's property. Then the beneficiary details. Please put the beneficiary details very, very clearly. Just putting the name of son, daughter, or a friend. No. Be clear, like name, age, address, and relationship with the beneficiary. Clearly spelling out that. And then the will must state that the testator desires that it comes into effect after his or her death. Then guardian for minors. If the beneficiary is not a major and is a minor, then you should appoint a guardian till the time that minor attains the majority and is capable of taking over the property which you are giving to him or her under the will. Then the exclusion clause. The testator cannot give any property that is joint family property. As that will becomes void. Executor of the will. The executor of the will is a person who will implement the will after your death. Then the signature, date on the document should be very clear. The name of the testator should be very clear. The witnesses who are signing should be, they should also be spelled out very clearly. As I said at the very beginning, when Anjuji called me and she asked, you were sounding engrossed in something. While going through that will of my client's father, the worrisome picture which was before me was that was a registered will. First of all, what I have seen is that is a registered will, duly registered will. But at the bottom, where the witnesses are attesting that will, just above that, the name of the person, the testator, was not the same who was executing that will. It was some different name. It was a registered will, but at the end, the name of the person, the testator, was altogether different. So I was finding an answer to that at that time. Now, when this will be presented to the court of law for probate, for declaration that it is a valid will, the first and foremost problem which comes is that at the start, there is a testator named B, and at the end, the testator becomes C, and it is a registered will. Now, I have to defend it. Now we come to the most common question asked by the clients is whether the registration of will is compulsory. Answer is no. It is not at all compulsory, and it depends upon the choice of the testator, the person who is executing the will. as I just now said, that will, which I have seen very recently, is a registered will. But a registrar or sub-registrar does not attest that will at all, even though he or she may sign the will in the presence of the testator, meaning thereby, if that will suffers from any defects or wrong mentioning of that details of the property, or the wrong mention of that name of the testator, then that lacuna does not get cured by the registration that registrar or sub-registrar has putting its stamp and signature on the will and getting it registered. That does not make that will valid in any way. So registration is always at your choice. Now, place of making the will. Under the law, the place of making a will is of no importance. A Hindu living in England need not come to India to execute his will. But it is always advisable that will should be executed in India, because under the Indian Succession Act, as I said, the legal requirement, one of the most legal requirement is that the attesting witnesses. If you are executing a will in England, then obviously you are having those witnesses who are living there. So when it comes for the probate, you have to call those witnesses from abroad. So it is always that one should, if one is living outside India, one should come to India and make that will. Now, a Hindu living in any part of the world but having Indian domicile may execute a will at any place in the world under the laws of India. Further, those attesting witness need not to be an Indian citizen or Indian resident or Hindus, but it is always advisable for the convenience of the beneficiaries for whom you are leaving that will, that witnesses should be from India, because it will come to test in Indian courts. So those witnesses needs to be called. Now, after executing a will, if you want to make few changes in that will, then you need not to change the entire will. You can do so by a document which is called codicil. Codicil to the will. That document is also executed in a similar way as the will. The only thing that it adds is that so and so property, which is left in that will. And that codicil also becomes part of that will. And as like a will, it can also be altered or revoked at any time. Now, coming to the probate of a will. Probate is that when we put the will, when the executor puts the will before the court for authentication, that this is the will, this is the last will of the deceased, and please validate it. That is the probate proceedings. Under the Indian Succession Act, again, it is not mandatory to get the seek the probate or get the probate of the will. Especially in Delhi, there is no requirement to obtain a probate of will. But it is always advisable, because after getting the property through will, if you want to deal with that property, then the third party may have a doubt on the authenticity of that will. So it is always advisable that one should get a probate of a will, whether that will is registered or unregistered. Probate, when granted by the court, it establishes the genuineness of will. And now the time frame. There is no limitation for grant of letters of administration or probate. It can be filed at any time. So these are the basic of the will and why it is important. I have explained that otherwise it will be distributed as per the Hindu Succession Act under the class 1 legal heirs, class 2, 3. Otherwise, then it goes to the, if it is a case of a Hindu female, then it could be that to the legal heirs of the father also. And one more important thing with regard to the Hindu females, that Hindu Succession Act clearly says that whatever that Hindu female inherits, it is her absolute property. So whatever she inherits becomes her absolute property, unless and until there is a clause under the will, gift, or by under an order of a court that her right in the property is limited. So when a male executes a will and executes in favor of his wife, it should be very clear that after my death, that my estate, this property goes to my wife. I bequeath this property to my wife absolutely. Normally, what we do is, just to please that our son, daughter, what we say put it in the will is that my wife has right of enjoyment of that property. Even she can take rent, etc. from that property. But after her death, it will devolve upon my son or daughter. So then in that situation, it does not become her absolute property. He has only limited right for enjoyment. Similarly, if under a court order, a Hindu female is getting something and it is limited to some extent, then it is not her absolute property. So these are the basic of the will and the legacy rights under the Hindu Succession Act. Now, floor is open for questions and discussion.
Before we start the question and answer round, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Ms. Sangeeta Jain ji from our North Zone, who has who has joined us today for this session. And I would also like to welcome Seema Jain ji from our previous ladies wing chairperson. And there are questions in the chat box which I would be asking Hitesh sir.
Yes, you can take any. There are, I think, lot of questions.
We have quite a few questions in the chat box. So Miss Uma Himetri has asked, is there any specific requirement for NRI to make a will?
See, there is no specific requirement. As I said, there is no specific requirement under the law that you should execute a will. If there is no will, and suppose that NRI is having some property in India and is a Hindu, then he'll be governed by the law of India as per the Hindu Succession Act. But it is always advisable, because the person who are getting that property, if there is a will in case of NRI and the property, the immovables are in India, it is much easier for them, the beneficiaries, to take over that property. And there is also certain avoidance of inheritance tax and all, because that NRI, there are certain guidelines that NRI could not hold the property. So obviously the beneficiary is also like that. So it is always advisable, but there is no requirement as such. It is the settlement how you want to do.
Mr. Amit Doshi has asked, if there is no will, is nominee the natural heir of the asset or property when the person dies?
No. I made it very clear that nomination is just for between the bank and the nominee, just to ease out those things. Nominee does not, or you take it like this, that nomination does not override the laws in relation to testamentary or interstate succession. Nominee is not the rightful owner. It is always the legal heir. The nomination is just to protect the asset of the deceased till the time the legal heir does not take it over. Ultimately, the nominee is holding it for the benefit of those legal heirs. There is a settled case laws over it. No doubt on that. That nomination, see, one thing I said, when we go to a bank, nowadays normally there is at the very entrance, it is written nomination facility available, kindly fill the nomination form. It is just that banking, as per the Banking Regulation Act, section 45Z of Banking Regulation Act, and the RBI circular says one should declare the nominee, so that after the death of that person, it will ease out the things between the bank and the legal heirs till the time the legal heirs don't settle between themselves. It is someone who takes. But please see that in a case of a life insurance policy, when you take a life insurance policy and there is someone beneficiary in that life insurance policy, suppose I have taken a policy, I am paying for it, but the beneficiary is my daughter. It will not get changed, because that is totally different from the nomination. Because it is that she is the beneficiary of that life insurance policy from the very beginning. I am paying it. It is linked to my life. That premium payment is linked to my life, but ultimately beneficiary is that daughter.
He's also asked when
many questions are putting. Mr. Amit Doshi is putting many questions now. What is the difference between will and family settlement? See, will and family settlement both operates in different spheres. Family settlement normally draws those joint properties, and will is with respect to your own property. And please also see that family settlement, once executed, it becomes operational the day when it gets executed. But it is not the case in the will. Will always comes into picture after the death of a testator. So they are both different. Let's take an example. Suppose I make a will, and in that will I put that property A of mine to my daughter. After executing that will, I also enters into a family settlement, and I exchange that property A, which I was bequeathing it to my daughter. I exchange it, or I give away my rights in that property under the family settlement. Then that family settlement comes into operation at that moment only. So there is no property A now. But if under a family set, suppose there is one more property B, which I am bequeathing it to my son, and under a family settlement, there is no giving up of right of property B, then after my death, that property B, which is going to my son, will remain as it is under that will. So they both are under the different spheres, both operate at different time. Family settlements, once executed, gets into an operation, but will comes after your death. Now next is what happens if witnesses are dead when the will is to be executed. Okay, now suppose that requirement of 2 witnesses as per law. Now by the time will comes for that before the court for probate, there is no witness which is alive, both are dead. Then this question very recently also came before Honorable Supreme Court. Supreme Court said, look, then the section 69 of Indian Evidence Act, it will come into picture. Then one who is the executor or the propounder to that will, who is bringing that will to the court, he has to satisfy the court by way of some other evidence, that the writing, the signatures of the testator who has executed the will, that is his signature by some other evidence, if there is no witness. One more important point I would like to add here is, sometimes what happens is the original will is lost or destroyed in some accident, some fire happens, and then the original will gets destroyed. Now what to do? The law says the court will, while granting the probate, the court will look into the copy of that lost will and will give the probate by the time that original is not found. And if it is totally destroyed, then they'll give a probate on the copy of the will and even on the draft copy of that will. The only thing is that once again you have to lead evidence, yes, this was the copy of the will or this original will, or this is the draft of that will, and it is admissible under the Indian Succession Act, section 237. Now someone is asking
I would like
religion
to
or
ask a
registration.
question.
Mr. Maheshwari has asked one question. You
Hitesh
said, please. I think, ma'am, there is some audio issue. Prachi can see that.
Nupur auntie, we are unable to hear you.
She can write in the
because I
chat
was
box.
not. Hitesh ji, I have a question. Actually, आप ये बताइए मेरे को, because इन सब डिस्कशन के बाद मेरे को दो तीन चीजें जो मेरे को पूछनी है. One of the thing is, if we missed or somehow we are not aware कि हमारी कोई बिल हमारे loved ones ने जाने से पहले लिखी है, and जो फैमिली के और लोग हैं वो ऑलरेडी उसका जो भी उन्हें प्रॉपर्टी का करना है वो कर चुके हैं, एंड देन वी गेट द विल. अब ये बताइए कैसे हम उस विल को यूज कर सकते हैं. इज इट पॉसिबल टू रिवर्स द थिंग्स व्हिच हैव फैमिली ऑलरेडी डन?
Yes. See, the question. See, your question is, there is a will, but the family is not aware of that will, and the case has been taken as that there is no will left by the deceased. Then if there is no will left by the deceased, then obviously it will be under that Hindu Succession Act, and class 1 legal heirs will come into picture, and they have taken it equally, I assume. And after that, you found a will. So what I said is, there is no timeline prescribed under the law to approach the court for probate of the will. But now if the property has changed hands, then the court has to see that how it has to be reversed. But there is no timeline for probate of a will. It is very clear as per Indian Succession Act that you can put for a probate at any time. But reversing the things sometimes may get difficult because it may have changed hands, some third parties' interests have created. So obviously, suppose A is not the beneficiary under the will, and if it goes to that A person by the succession or by that some arrangement and he has sold it, obviously he has to pay it for that or bring it back. But there is no timeline.
What about that if the other family person वो because obviously किसने बिल किया तो वो बीमार होगा या कुछ ऐसी सिचुएशन में होगा कि उसको अवेयरनेस नहीं है कि what paper he is going signing in the last moment. So अगर कोई फैमिली मेंबर वो पेपर साइन करा लेते हैं without knowing कि वो ऑलरेडी बिल क्रिएट किए हुए हैं, and they get the paper sign और वो जो भी बैंकिंग एंड ऑल अकाउंट से सारा पैसा ट्रांसफर कर लिया, so what is the steps
one has to put an objection with respect to that forgery, with respect to that is not the intention, that the person who is filing that objection, he is under that obligation to prove it that this is not the last will, it was not genuinely signed at that time, he was under that medical this thing, he was not well. So all these things you have to bring it to the court with an evidence that he was not well, he was under the medical treatment, he was not of the sound mind. This is all the objection and court will obviously decide on that.
अच्छा, एक चीज आपने बोली थी इसमें कि वाइफ की जो जॉइंट प्रॉपर्टी विद द वाइफ है, इन केस वाइफ लेफ्ट द वर्ल्ड, तो उस केस में उस प्रॉपर्टी की विल हस्बैंड नहीं कर सकता.
नहीं, हस्बैंड तो किसी भी सिचुएशन में अपनी वाइफ की प्रॉपर्टी की विल नहीं कर सकता. सीधा.
So what about that property then?
Yes, that share, that suppose there is a joint property, that 50% share, if there is no will left by that Hindu female, then that 50% share will devolve upon the legal heirs as per the Hindu Succession Act. And as per the Hindu Succession Act, in case of a female, the first class which is entitled is son, daughter, husband. So son, daughter and husband will take equal share, one share each. So automatically what is happening is that one third share again will come back from that 50% to that husband. And son and daughter. If there is no son and daughter, then in that situation, there is no son, daughter or husband, in that situation, the legal heirs of husband. And if there is no legal heirs of husband, then mother and father of that lady equally, mother and father. But please also see that property of that lady should, if that property is coming from her father or mother, that 50% share or that entire share is coming from that lady is owning that property and that comes from her father or mother, then under the class 1, it is the son, daughter, son or the daughter, son and daughter. But if there is no son and daughter, it will not go to husband. It will go to the legal heirs of the father. Again, back to that family.
Sir, let's do one last question and we will share your number with everybody.
Let's take one or two questions.
Yes, can I ask, there is one in the window by Mr. Yuvraj Sharma. He's asking, can a property bought on loan be included in a will if the loan amount has not been paid to the bank?
Yes, obviously. Yes, see, once the will goes for a probate in the court, the first thing which the judge under the law do is he'll put a notice to the public at large. It is the requirement that under the 2 leading newspaper where the immovable properties are situated, you have to issue a notice that so and so person, the executor of the will, has approached with the will of so and so, so that if there is a claim against that the liability of that deceased, it should be paid first from those properties. Then only whatever is left will be the other legal heirs are entitled to, or whatever that arrangement under the will. You can mention it also. There is no difficulty. But contingencies should always be avoided. Yes, you can specify this is my liability. Even that people are putting that so much of, first of all, funeral expenses are being taken out. There is no harm in it. There is, see, as I said, there is no settled draft under the law that it should be like this only, it should include this, like this steps only. It is your intention, it is your expression that how you want to, that your property should be dealt after your death.
Is it necessary that the witnesses to the will have to sign the will at the same time? What do the witnesses testify against? The contents of the will or any or only to the factum of the existence of the will?
Only to the factum of the existence of the will. They need not to be aware of the contents of the will. But normally it does not happen. See, what happens is normally the attesting witness is normally a friend or a family. So if someone is coming to me, I am calling someone कि यार please मेरी ये will attest कर दो, मैंने एक will लिखी है. तो normally बात तो होगी कि देखो मैं old हो रहा हूँ, I am not keeping well, or I want to some estate planning, so मैंने ये सोचा है इस तरह मैं अपनी property. But they are not bound that they should know the contents of the will. They are only attesting the will that this testator has signed this will without any pressure, without any influence before, in front of us, before us. And we have signed before him. That's it. Yes, one witness can sign at later stage, but at least one witness should sign then and there before that testator, and when the testator executes that will. Now, one question by Mr. Maheshwari is also there. You said registration of will is not necessary. Whether there will be an impact on legal validity if will executed first time is registered, but subsequent change will are not registered. It's also a very good question. See, sir, this again has come up before the courts many times that the first will is registered, but the second will is unregistered, is not registered, is unregistered. So the court takes it, it is always the last testament of the deceased. But normally what happens is, when the first will is registered and the second one is not registered, it will sometimes get difficult to prove that yes, that second will which is unregistered is a very genuine will of the deceased. But law recognizes the last will only. Now, Mr. Amit Doshi is also putting a question: what happens if properties outside India, say in Malaysia, will be dictated by Malaysia or Indian law? See, it is your domicile. I am again saying it is your domicile which is to be seen. It is the domicile of the person which is to be seen. If your domicile is in India, property may be outside, then it is be governed by the Indian.
There is one question by Ms. Rishki Patwar. My father and grandfather passed away within 17 days due to COVID. How can we, the legal heirs of our father, claim the movable and immovable assets where our grandfather nominated our father in his will since our father is no more?
Claim the movable immovable assets where our grand. See again, see, the basic is, if there is no will, the nomination does not matter. If there is no will, as per the Hindu Succession Act, that person has died interstate without making a will, without executing a will. It will be the, as per the class 1, no class 1, then class 2. Then see, then there is a cognates and agnates. These are little legal terms which is at this platform may not be very easy to make you understand, but if there is no will, then as per the Hindu Succession Act. So any more, if someone wants to ask quickly.
If there is, let's do one last question. If I make the will duly signed but without attesting witnesses and without registering the name of
Not
any
valid.
holder was
Not at all valid. As I said repeatedly, the law does not prescribe any format. The law only says that will executed by a person should be attested by 2 independent witnesses, at least by 2 witnesses. And yes, one more thing which actually no one has asked, but yes, will, you can write the will in your own handwriting also. It need not to be typed. Now, there is a case where a person has written a will in his own handwriting, and while reading out it again, he made certain corrections over it, and he passed away by leaving that will, a handwritten will with certain corrections. Yes, obviously initially he was there on the correction, witnesses were also there. Court says no. On a handwritten will, if there is some scribble, some corrections, that raises a doubt. That raises a doubt. So a handwritten will, you should be very careful that it should be without any correction, without any scribbling, cutting, and because that raises a doubt. The sub-registrar in Delhi, this Lajpat Nagar sub-registrar, has refused that, and then when it goes to that for the mutation of the property and for the for getting the property freehold before L&D also, they refused it. They said that law does not recognize this. Please go to the court and get that probate. And when it goes to the court, that court says no. There is a cutting over it, and there is an objection also filed by the legal heirs. This will cannot be taken. So you should be very careful. And one more thing, that it should be in the language which testator understands. Normally what we do is कि अच्छा मैंने will लिखवा, अब बेटा ने क्या किया, will लिखवा के ले आए, अब ये नहीं देखें कि father does not know that English. So when it will be goes for the probate, it will be challenged, and it will be very valid objection that that person who is executing a will, it is all in English or all in some other language which he never understands.
Hitesh ji, I am Anil Mittal.
Hanji.
Am I audible to you? I am
Ji,
Anil
ji.
Mittal, insolvency professional.
Ji sir, how are you?
Thank you, sir. It was in fact a wonderful session that you have taken, and many questions have gone automatically answered by you, which I had in my mind. But one question is there, which I want to ask very relevantly. A person may be having many legal heirs, maybe the sons and daughters only I'm talking about.
Yes, yes.
And while he's writing a will,
Hmm.
he may be thinking, and he has the intention of leaving somebody and giving favor to somebody. And he writes that registered or whatever way he does the will. And in this way, it is very much clear from the will that he has favored somebody and he has disfavored somebody, or he has just outcast somebody. Is it challengeable subsequently when the execution goes, that why he has, or he is required to mention in the will that why he is not favoring somebody and why he is favoring somebody?
See, requirement is not there that why is favoring someone, why. It is your will, how you want to draft it. It is very much simple that how you want to draft it. You want to mention that because of this reason, I am not bequeathing some anything to my son A, B, C. It is all right. No issue in that. But your question, that important question in here is that whether it is challengeable.
Yeah.
See, nothing can stop any person from putting an objection if he has interest, if he is a legal heir. Nothing can stop that. It is ultimately he has to prove that what his objections are. It is his duty first to prove that this is the objection, this is the not the last will, this is not the intention of my father, this is the there is a forgery, there is a fraud, there is a coercion at that time, someone influenced him. So you have to put some evidence for that. But no one can stop anyone from going to the court. You can't stop him from challenging that will. A registered, unregistered, whatever the will is, a handwritten will, whatever. How can you stop him from going to the court and putting an objection?
No, my
Is it
question is
right?
simply, my simple question
Ji, ji.
is that a differentiation or favoring somebody, favoritism, or that whether that is challengeable.
See, it is. See, obviously, अगर आपने किसी को फेवर किया, किसी को लेफ्ट आउट कर दिया, तो वो तो चैलेंज करेगा ही. But if you say it is not the court normally takes कि ठीक है उसका यार उसकी प्रॉपर्टी है, मैं
Yes.
किसी को भी दूं, I am putting it for donation also out of that property. How can you stop me from that?
Yes,
It
right.
should be it should be one's own property. That's it. मेरी property, I am leaving it for X, Y, Z. That's it.
Correct.
But if there is some suspicion, I like Madam asked, some medical problem was there. He was bedridden. He was not able to sign. He was not able to think properly. Then these objections, obviously, court takes from the surrounding analysis. These are the objections. So court.
His decision is unchallengeable.
Yes.
The decision of the testator is unchallengeable. That is what
Yes.
I just wanted to know. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hello.
Ji, sir.
Hello.
Good
Can I
evening,
put one
Hitesh ji.
question?
Please, sir. Please.
Hello. My
sir.
simple question is, if a will is made and in the will, the settler writes that up to after my death, the property will vest in my son. But till my husband is alive, he will have the full right to enjoy. Can
Yes.
this condition be put in the will?
Yes. Very much. Very much. But as I said,
That means the property which will vest in the son will vest finally after the death of the husband.
Yes.
not
After
exactly
the,
after the will of the testator.
see, that wife or husband has the right to enjoy that property. But there is a case law again over it, a Delhi High Court case law. I think Justice Endlaw has decided that if you are putting that type of things in the will, the person who is the ultimate beneficiary can come to the court and say, today itself give it to me. This is my property. Ultimately, it comes to me. So there is some controversial issue in that judgment. So, but normally, yes, that wife or the husband enjoys that property. But you should avoid it because it will not serve much purpose, as it is only for the enjoyment. And then he cannot further bequeath it because it has to be by, it ultimately goes to that son or daughter. But yes, there is a challenge to that by in Delhi High Court. I am not remembering that case, but yes, that it was before Justice Endlaw.
But one spouse is trying to protect the right of the other spouse.
Yes,
till
but
his
court
or
is
her
not
death.
taking it. Court is not taking it. Justice Endlaw's judgment is there. I'll share it with you. You can put your number. I'll ask Ms. Prachi to. I'll definitely share that judgment with you.
I will share.
Justice High's judgment is there that that beneficiary can come to the court and that time only and say, look, this is what I am getting it. It is ultimately my what is this? So this type of thing should be avoided. But yes, it can be put. But see, this judge, if there is a judgment, then there is some counter also to it. I'll share that judgment with you.
Thank you. Thank you. So nice.
Welcome, sir.
Sir, I've already shared your number. We can.
Okay. If anyone else has any question, then otherwise I think.
Hello.
Hello, Hitesh ji.
Yes, sir.
Can I ask a question?
Please, sir. Please. Why
Actually,
not?
a friend of mine recently passed away.
Okay.
He had a will,
Okay.
and that was a registered will. He has one son and a daughter. The daughter is a foreign citizen now after marriage. What is the way it will be executed? This is one thing. The other thing is that in the will, he has made his wife and his son the executors of the will.
No, but to whom that property is going? To son, daughter, wife, to whom he is bequeathing that?
There are many properties that the person owns, and he has specifically written those properties in individual names.
Yes. Now, what do you want to actually ask on that?
Basically, since the daughter is foreign citizen,
it hardly matters. That executor will put that will, that to the court for probate.
Okay.
Actually, probate. But that foreign citizen, please see, sir, that foreign citizen, when I am not touching on that, how that foreign citizen will take over that asset. It is altogether different, because then I have to go and that some inheritance tax will come, whether that NRI or that foreign citizen can own that asset in India or not. That thing, that other legal requirement, you definitely
they have to remain as they are.
That has to be seen, whether that, because it's a foreign national now, you are saying that.
Yeah. No, but so, one question remains,
tax,
sir.
Because that other guidelines, that RBI guideline came out and no, you can't, that foreign citizen can't own this asset. That has to be seen. Otherwise, then
the question is.
See, sir, just give me a minute. For till that asset, it should not be touched. But for other assets, that will be remain as it is. So that asset which is left in for, because the daughter cannot take over because of some legal issues, then that asset ultimately again will be, as per the Succession Act, one will be divided, and then it can be. See, it has to be seen and it has to be done as per that. Some planning has to be done how you can pass that benefit of that asset to that daughter, but it has to be seen with the tax issues.
Now,
Please,
further, one last question within this.
Please,
when
sir.
Bill is to be opened, are there any legal requirements that?
No, I understand. No, there is
Yeah.
no legal requirement. See, it should be in a safe custody. So
No, it should be
safe
read
custody.
in front of every, all the
If someone is not in India, if someone is not in India, how can it be before her? It will be before. See, again, sir, please see, please understand. The law says the require. That is why the law says the requirement of that attesting witness. That attesting, everything depends on that attesting witness. Because court wants a statement on oath of that attesting witness. Yes, that attesting witness will come in the witness box and will depose on oath. Yes, this is the will, this at point so and so, at point so and so. Yes, these are the signature of that testator. It has been signed before me. If you are able to satisfy that by that two independent witnesses, yes, this is the last will, whether registered or unregistered, court takes it. That is why I am saying always choose those witnesses which will remain available after your death. Many a times what we do is, अरे भाई मैंने अपने दोस्त को अपने जो एक बहुत ही दोस्त को बना लिया दोस्त आज यहाँ कल। देखो जो अगर मैं ही चला गया तो मेरा लिंक भी टूटेगा। तो मेरा लिंक कैसे रहेगा? मेरी फैमिली का लिंक टूट गया। अब मेरे बच्चों को, मेरे सन को, डॉटर को पता ही नहीं कि भाई अरे पापा के तो वो फला दोस्त अब पता नहीं कहाँ गए। अब this is the case, then they will not be able to find that person. Then again the legal complication will come for proving that. So it is always advisable that those witnesses who will be available, or you put a very clearly the name and this thing of those witnesses, the address, the phone number, some ID, Aadhaar card, some election card should be clearly given in that so that they can be traced out.
I would now like
Thank you. Thank you so much.
My last question.
So please, I've
my
shared.
last
चलो
question.
चलो करने दो।
My
एक
last
last
question.
question let's put a last question. Please sir.
ऐसा है दोस्त,
जी,
मैं ये कहता हूँ कि सिंपल शब्दों में अगर एक परिवार में एक आदमी विल लिखना चाहता है और वो यही नहीं चाहता कि मैं जब दो विटनेसेस को ले जाऊं या किसी एग्जीक्यूटर को अपॉइंट करूं, तो वो नेचुरली बेनिफिशियरी से अलग हैं। जब बेनिफिशियरी से अलग हैं तो दैट मीन्स कि ये मेरी विल जो है उनके सामने एक्सपोज हो गई। अगर मैं ये चाहता हूं कि मेरे परिवार में शांति बनी रहे, मेरी डेथ से पहले इनको ना पता लगे कि मैंने क्या किया है, इनके बेनिफिट के लिए ही किया है, उन्हीं के लिए मरते हैं, उन्हीं के लिए जीते हैं, पर उनको जब तक जिंदा हैं उनको ये ना पता हो, तो कैन यू सजेस्ट सम पैलेटेबल लैंग्वेज या ऐसा कोई तरीका हो? देखो ऐसा है, हर परिवार में एक बात होती है कि वो ये चाहते हैं कि परिवार से बाहर भी बात ना निकले और परिवार के किसी और आदमी को भी एग्जीक्यूटर ना बनाए, क्योंकि अगर एग्जीक्यूटर किसी और को बनाते हैं तो नेचुरली उसके पास बात जाती है। विटनेसेस का रोल तो लिमिटेड हो सकता है, पर एग्जीक्यूटर का जो रोल है वो बड़ा अहम है। तो क्या आप ऐसा सजेस्ट कर सकते हैं कि कोई ऐसे तरीका हो कि जिससे परिवार की इज्जत भी बच जाए, यानी कि उनका वो ढका रहे और ये विल भी हो जाए?
I can give an example on that. Though it is that the executor or beneficiaries should be not the same, but I can give a very recent example on this. My father left a will in favor of my mother. Everything goes to my mother, and the executor of that will was also my mother.
Oh,
I don't know about it. He never told me about this. And that will was unregistered will. Then after his death, my mother told me that this is the will of the father and these two properties now automatically comes to me. I said, no issue. I am there, my sister is there, you are there. We put a probate for it. No issue. Court has simply given it. No issue. Court has not asked. Within 6 months, no objection, within 6 months, probate granted. This is the shortest time within which a probate can be granted, because at least 2 months we need for the return of the notices and the publication and the SDM report and everything on the property with regard to valuation also. So this is the law. See, courts also understand these things, but when it gets challenged, when will gets challenged, then everything comes in black and white. In fact, there is no other color white. Everything in black. There are only the shades of black, gray, black, gray. That's it. Court says if it falls within these conditions, then okay. Otherwise, no other color.
Oral will का भी कोई role है?
No role. See, oral will, how you will prove it? It must be in writing. Court says it. Law says it must be in writing. Oral will can be in some situations. See, when person is just on the bed, but then those wills will not be taken by the court. It is very difficult कि मेरे दो witness are मेरे सामने बोला था जी मेरे सामने बोला था. No. But yes, there are. See, sir, there is a privileged will also. There is a category. There are different types of wills. There is a one privileged will also. The privileged will is only for that army persons who are on the war front, and for those in the privileged will, there are certain exceptions of witnesses, of attestation, and this. But those are the privileged will. Others are all unprivileged wills. This is the case. Sometimes what the people do is, if there is they doubt कि भाई attesting witness का क्या होगा, तो वो उसके लिए पहले भी affidavit ले लेते हैं and get it notarized, so that it will ease out something for before the court. So, अगर privilege will है living by that army man or that on a person who is on war front, then that is a different case. उसके लिए कुछ exceptions हैं.
Sir, we would thank you, and his number and contact details will be shared with everybody, and they can ask their questions personally. I would like to hand over the mic to Rakhi auntie.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Prachi. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Hitesh sir.
Thank
Now,
you.
I request a very humble and supportive chairperson of North Zone, Shrimati Sangeeta ji. Please come and share your words.
Okay.
Sangeeta ji.
Hanji, yes. Okay. A very good evening to everyone, and respected Faridabad chapter chairman Shri Shanti Lal ji sir, Chief Secretary Shri PC Jain Saab ji, and North Zone Chief Secretary Praveen ji, Chairperson JLW Anju ji, Chief Secretary Nupur ji, and our all very good moderator for today, Prachi ji, sabhi ko, and all the participants, sabhi ko mera सादर जय जिनेंद्र, and youth wing से जो भी हैं उनको भी chairperson भी है उनको भी सबको मेरा सादर जय जिनेंद्र. I would like to congratulate our JLW and the youth wing for coming up with an excellent topic, which is, I think this is a topic which has been ignored or not given much importance in many of the families. I'm sure after hearing to Mr. Advocate Hitesh ji, we would have all realized that how important this topic is, as to one should be aware of their legal rights and also their pay attention to drafting the will, and also how the properties and wealth is being handed over to our inheritance. So I think even I didn't know the difference between a family settlement and a will. It sounds so simple, but there's a vast difference in between. Thank you, Hitesh ji. You were very good, and in a very simple manner, I think you explained it so well. Most of it, all the points were clear, and thank you once again. I think you might understand by the questions that were asked that people were so much interested in knowing much more and more about this. We had to interrupt and tell people that now it's time and we won't be able to take more questions.
No,
So
I am also
excellent.
loving it. No issue. I am also loving it, answering those questions.
Yeah, but I think that time doesn't allow us to keep on.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you very much, and thank you.
Thank you.
And heartiest congratulations to Faridabad team, our JLW team, and the youth wing team. It's really an excellent topic that you people have come up with. This is the first step of empowering our women, because generally in a family, women is the last person who pays attention to all these things. And now it's high time that women start giving attention to all these points, that because it is the first step in empowering our women. So congratulations once again. And I would just take 1 more minute as to, I didn't get to speak more about this earlier. The Faridabad team is taking an excellent initiative, working actively in all fields, whether be it organizing webinars like this. Previous webinars was also very good, and also the COVID situations, which has been very well handled by your chapter, be it in managing the food dispersals or the medicines or the oxygen cylinders or monetary help and everything. So once again, excellent initiatives, excellent job done by you people. So keep it up. Your spirits and enthusiasm are at the next level, and keep it on the same level, and hope to see many more webinars and activities from your side. Thank you, Anju ji, Nupur ji, Prachi ji, and everybody. Excellent work. Keep it up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sangeeta ji, for your valuable words and sparing time. Thank you so much, Sangeeta ji. Now, I would like to call Shri P.C. Jain ji, a very cooperative and kind Chief Secretary of Faridabad chapter. Please come and share your words. Shri P.C. Jain ji. Shri P.C. Jain ji, please come.
I don't see him on the meeting. PC uncle.
Nupur for vote of thanks. Nupur.
Gentlemen, everyone present here. I am Nupur Jaini, Chief Secretary of Jito Ladies Wing Faridabad, is here to present vote of thanks. I would like to thank Mr. Hitesh ji. I think a very successful lawyer. Hitesh ji, the session was really very insightful. You highlighted such complicated topics and explained it so very well. I'm sure we all understood the importance of will.
Thank you, ma'am.
Will means हमारी इच्छा. So ये वो इच्छा है जो शायद हम लोग जब जीते हैं तब हमारे घर वाले उसका क्या उतना ध्यान नहीं रखते हैं, जिसको हमारे लॉ ने हमारी डेथ के बाद भी इसको इम्पोर्टेंस दिए, एंड आवर लॉ गिव अस राइट टू मेक आवर विल कंप्लीट. सो उस विल के बारे में आपने जितने अच्छी तरह से हितेश जी बताया है, आई एम श्योर हम सब लोगों के क्वेश्चन से आप डेफिनेटली समझ ही गए कि वी आर सो एक्साइटेड टू नो अबाउट द विल. So rightly said, if there is a will, there is a way. The way of peace, peace in the family, happiness in the family. So the importance of will is very well said. हम लोगों को will बनाना कितना important है. My takeaways are for youth: don't bother to make will before marriage, and it is not recognized. We all know nominees rights are better than the one in will. Hitesh, it was an eye-opening session, as many misconceptions have been answered. Actually, हितेश जी, आपकी इस सब विल के बारे में जितनी डिटेल में आपने बताया, आई थिंक हम लोगों ने इसको रिकॉर्डिंग की, इतनी डिमांड हमारे पास ड्यूरिंग दिस सेशन आई है कि वी हैव टू शेयर ऑल योर दोस टॉपिक जो आपने कवर किए हैं हमारी जीरो से लेकर एंड तक विल के लिए. तो आई एम श्योर हमारे सारे जीतो फरीदाबाद चैप्टर एंड हु ऑल हैव अटेंडेड दिस तो विल गेट बेनिफिट. आई वुड लाइक टू थैंक संगीता जी, जिन्होंने नॉर्थ जोन चैप्टर से चेयरपर्सन, जिन्होंने टाइम निकाला और इस सेमिनार को हमारे अटेंड किया एंड मेक इट अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस. शांतिलाल जी हमारे चेयरपर्सन, जिनकी गाइडेंस में हम रेगुलरली वेबिनार्स एंड जितने भी हम फरीदाबाद चैप्टर में इवेंट्स कर रहे हैं, अंडर हिज गाइडेंस एंड हिज सपोर्ट वी आर रियली ही इज अ बिग हेल्प टू अस. पूनम भैया आई थिंक अभी यहाँ नहीं, किसी रीजन से अटेंड कर पा रहे हैं. So Poonam Bhaiya, definitely he is also a very big help. Thank you, Raka Bhaiya. Your guidance is a big support. It is without you, without your support, it is really difficult for us to handle things. And Thank you, ex-chairperson Seema ji. She's a mentor to us, and she time to time she always guides us. Thank you all the dignitaries who have joined us. Thank you all the members. And now my last take is हमारा 13th June को हमारा एक और webinar आ रहा है. That is alignment of mind, body and emotion. So please don't miss that. It is a very good motivational speaker, a life coach. She's a wonderful speaker. One must listen to her. So please 13th June अपना free रखिएगा, webinar definitely attend करिएगा. Thank you so much to attend this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. We are closing the session.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
क्या